Day 12, baby. Let's go. You know the routine, okay? Hype music, focus music. Let's hear the playlists. More importantly, man, like just tell us what you have experienced. Tell us your growth. Help us understand. Help everybody in here grow and build and grow and build. This day number 12 is going to be awesome. Awesome. You're working on your second habit, working on that habit. Love to hear what your habits are. Would love to hear what are some of the highs, the lows, the challenges, some things that you're trying to work through. What are they? Let's hear them. Let's hear them. One thing I want to focus on today, big. Yesterday you heard about how I was able to overcome that selfishness, that victim mentality, and started with the I am statements, right? Let me just keep expanding on that. What happened as I started to do that? I started to feel and started to go through this purge of negativity. Then I realized, though, that there was this negative aura, this negative speech that kept going through my head. I had to think, I had to ask myself a question like, how do I rip this out, uproot it, get rid of it? A burnt tree is a burnt tree. Just get rid of it. You don't want to use the same materials. You don't want to use the same wood, the same structure, the same paint, the same anything, because it's all ash. You're not rebuilding yourself with the old materials. You are building yourself with new stuff, new material. And that's where this next part comes in that is so huge and pivotal to my growth. What I did was this. I remember it was a Sunday and I was thinking to myself, I got to move. This is just vexing my soul. It's causing me to feel ugly and gross. Even though I'd been going through the I am statements and I'd get jacked and get going, I had to move out the negativity somehow. So what did I do? Went and grabbed a piece of paper and a pencil, right? Piece of paper and pencil. And what I did is I started to write down every negative word that I had about myself. Write it down. Just write it. Just started writing all the negative crap that went through my head. And what happened was I just kept writing, and it was legible at first, and then it got not so much, and then it was just scribbled. And then I just started writing front and back, front and back, front and back, front and back. I just kept going and going. I had 5 pages front and back of all this negative BS. And what happened in my brain was I started to cry, like really like that gross, ugly, like you're just sobbing because you're crying, you're screaming. I was so pissed. I was mad. I was crying. I was fearful. Everything started to run through me. And I just kept writing. And when I was done, I remember just sitting there on the table, and I put my hand down like this, and I put my head on top of my arm there, and I just sat there and cried. I don't know how long it was. I just sat there and cried. And then I got up and I was like, man, I feel better. So then what I did is I got a piece of paper, a new one, and I got a pen, right? I got a pen, a blue pen. Then I started writing. What am I feeling right now? Started writing. And it maybe covered half the page, and that was it. I took all of those papers and I put them together, and I just set it off to the side and didn't even worry about it. Monday, I was went through this purge, and I was like, gosh, man, what the heck is going on? Like, this is weird. Started to get feeling sick. I started to just feel lethargic. I had no drive again. I'm like, man, what is going on? Then I realized, now if you've read The Big Leap, you understand it's your upper limit. I was hitting my upper limit. I was causing myself to go backwards. I was causing myself to live in that negative space that I had lived in for so long that I was comfortable with. I did not want to progress. My body was saying, whoa, time out. You're not used to this new stuff, okay? We're going to go back to what we were used to. It sucked, but at least we knew when we were comfortable. Then I was like, F that, man. No more. Went home that night, piece of paper out, pen, all the negative crap. 1 page, 2 page, 3 page, crying. I probably wrote the same stuff. And when I was done crying, again, I put my hands together like this. I put my head on top of my forearm and just sobbed like a child. Then I got a new piece of paper, blue pen, and I started writing everything positive about myself. Halfway down through the page, first page, flipped it over, started writing. Now it was legible and it became unlegible. Guess what? Put the papers on top of the other papers and walked away. I did this for an entire week. What happened was this. The negative things that I started to write ended up only being half a page. The positive things that I started to write ended up being 10 pages, front and back. It was everything that I could think of positive about me. Crap, I was saying I love to chew, I love to eat grass, I love to play with bugs, I loved everything about me, and joy and happiness and spring. So I just started writing stuff. So I started on Sunday and I ended on a Sunday. But I wanted to celebrate because I had this shift, this mind shift, this emotional change within me. So I wanted to celebrate. So what did you do? I ran down to the local grocery store, went and bought a steak. Had no money, but I went and bought a steak anyways, right? And I could not cook. Trust me, that was the worst steak probably I ever made. Well, I probably made crappier ones, but that one was terrible steak. But for me, it was good. Went out, I made steaks, I bought a roll, and that's really all I could afford. I ate it. I had some music going, and I was like, this is a celebration of my life. This is a celebration of this accomplishment that I had been able to do and get through. It was this celebration that pushed me to this newness and this next level. So then what I did, I had my little Weber grill, right? So I'd cook the steak on the Weber grill, and the coals were still super hot. So I put more, instead of putting coals, I put just a bunch of brush and crap. I threw it in there and lit it. And it flamed up, and I'm like, yes, that's awesome. Because I was going to cook some s'mores. But then I had this great idea. I said, nope, I'm going to burn this crap. I'm going to burn all this negative crap. I'm going to burn it all. So I did. I took all of those negative papers and I put them in the Weber. And then what I did is I doused it with lighter fluid. And I took the match and I held the match in my box in my hand, and I took out a match. And I was staring down at this, and I thought to myself, I'm going to flick this match and it's going to shoot right into the Weber grill. And when it hits that Weber grill, because of all of the lighter fluid that's in there, it's just going to ignite and it's going to be explosive, which is going to be super cool. But when I flip this match and it goes in there, I will no longer allow any of this crap to enter my body or my mind or my soul or my being or my aura ever again. Ever again. I sat there for a little bit. It took some time. Trust me. It wasn't like just go. I took this match and I flipped it. I struck it and threw it. And as that match flew through the air and hit that, sure enough, that thing just ignited up. So cool. And I watched it burn all of it out. Just burned it. And I just had this huge smile on my face like I do now. I'm thinking, dang, I just did something that I never thought I could. Purged. And then I was like, man, that's awesome. I purged out and watched all of the embers float off into the sky and fall down and just burn all that negativity out. Then I felt myself screaming like yes. Then I went and grabbed the papers that had all the positive stuff, and I put that in there and I lit it on fire. And I stood there with the match in my hand and holding this. And I said, I'm going to light this thing up, and this is going to burn bright. And that is all of the positive stuff is going to shoot out into the universe, shoot out up to God, and say, I will always remember this. This is who I am now. I'm casting this in to the universe, and it will bring back the joy and the beauty that I have. And I flipped that thing, and it ignited, and it was so cool to watch it. And then I took lighter fluid, and I kept dousing it and kept dousing it and kept dousing it and kept dousing it and kept dousing it. Just kept flames and flames and flames and flames. Then I realized to keep that positive burning, I have to keep dousing it, and dousing it. That's what you are doing. Your habits are building you to keep burning bright. So if you haven't done that yet, if you haven't ripped out the negative thoughts and elevated your positive thoughts, I encourage you to do what I did. Burn away the negative. Burn it. And then cast the positive out. And watch what happens. A mighty change will happen. That I promise you. Keep crushing it, boys. I love you. In your journal, I grow stronger and wiser with each step forward. That is your I am statement. You are growing stronger and wiser. Love you, boys.